Hello, Lego fans, and welcome in to the second episode of Brick Hour Time Capsule. I am your host, JJ, otherwise known as Langster Builds on Instagram. With me, as always, my wonderful co-host, Cam, otherwise known as Camera Studios.
Everybody.
And with us today, our very special guest. We have mentioned her like a half gajillion times. She is one of the main reasons this show even exists.
Yes.
Please welcome our good friend, Gina, My Bricks and Me.
Hello. Hi. Good to be here finally. Thank you for
Yes, we are so
having
happy to
me
have you.
here.
Yes.
Yes.
If people are not familiar with you, would you like to say a quick thing about yourself before we get started here?
Sure. I started a Lego YouTube channel, My Bricks and Me, about I don't know, a couple years ago. I got through 100 episodes, and then life, family, and all that stuff kind of got in the way, and so it was just really hard to do. But I got some good city stuff out there, kind of. Um, But yeah, I got Instagram, all that, all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's just not
Bio.
not the most not the most active lately, but hopefully now we've moved and we're kind of settled, except we have a puppy.
This
So
is your comeback. This is the start of
this
your comeback.
could be a very lovely comeback. I have a bigger space. I have, I have a lot of ex more time now.
Mhm.
So hopefully things will start making a comeback. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on any kind of podcast or video of any sort. So we'll see how much I missed it. So that's
We're
about
happy to
it.
have you.
Yes,
Yes,
we
thank
are.
you. Thank you.
And we are also here because the topic of this week's time capsule, the second time capsule ever, is video. And a lot of you are probably looking at this going, why is this on video? You very clearly teased that this one was going to be on sports because of the Super Bowl. And to that, I tell you, you were wrong, but you were almost there because in Time Capsule episode one, at the end, I teased that we were going to be doing an episode based around an event that happened on February 9th. You all jumped to Super Bowl and sports. My mind went to the halftime show, which was being performed by Kendrick Lamar, who was
Nice.
under the Universal
Bias.
Music banner. So in that sense, it is video. So you lose. Sorry, but not sorry because this is going to be great. And Gina is probably the biggest fan of video that there is known to humankind.
Yes.
Uh, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a video. I'm sorry, I'm proud. But
And
yes,
you should be
it was a
You
because
good
should.
thing.
you
It's a
collected
good thing.
everything, which was
I
great,
did.
even the stuff that
I
didn't
did.
make it to the States, which was wild.
Yes. Yes, yes.
So that is why
Oh.
Gina is here to help us out with this. So just like last time, if anybody is just coming into this for the first time, did not see the first episode, we're basically going to start off with the general information about the theme, kind of like when it started, some basic facts. We're going to then jump to big screen mode, go to brick set, look at some pictures of some sets, some highlights, maybe some not so good stuff that might could have been there. And then we will finish off with the legacy portion. We're talking about how is the theme remembered and basically like, why did it end? Do we know why? Can we theorize why? And just talk about the theme's overall impact on Lego and the community as a whole. So, Gina, I'm going to turn it over to you for the first segment. Obviously, I'm about general information. Would you like to take that for us and give us a little bit of history about video?
Sure. Video came out in 2021, and it came out as basically a set of figs and some like beatbox things is what they call them. And it wasn't the most affordable for a first wave
Mhm.
of anything Lego has done. So that probably started it off on a bad foot. But if it lasted two rounds. So
So
you had
essentially
the
CMF.
yeah, you had the CMFs, and then for the second round of video, there was another round of CMFs that never made it to the States, but then there was also 5 sets that came out in the second wave.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, the second wave should have been the first wave. Had they started with the sets rather than just figs and some overpriced figs in a plastic box, it might
Mhm.
have done better. Um, Also the app, I played with the app. I played with it a couple times because why not? And it was kind of cute, so to speak. It was glitchy, but I'm not the most technological person ever. Um, but it was around for less than a year. I think it could have done better. The figs were amazing.
That's probably the thing I
And
remember the most.
That was the
yeah,
highlight.
and the sets, everybody wants to just remember the boombox for the most ultimate set. And that it was a great set, but I have other favorites beyond that. And I think the boombox was the biggest, and that's why it was the favorite. But there were other ones like for me that are more, like just incorporable with, a collection that can just kind of stand on their own as well. So,
Mhm.
but it should have kept going. I wish they would have been able to figure out um a way to maybe make Universal not a part of it anymore and just keep the Lego part. And
And,
it might have,
and that was one of the big things when it was announced was it was a collaboration between Lego and Universal Music because I believe at that time they had just recently purchased the film rights for the Lego brand itself. They had just because Warner Brothers had lost the property and they had Universal had basically taken control of it. So this was their first bit, and they was marketed as this is going to be a push of Lego and Universal Music together. And it was going to be you could use the app to make your own songs and make musical beats that could incorporate the minifigures. And there was the special tiles that you would scan and would get certain like musical beats
yes.
you could
Yep.
use. And
Yep.
you have all of those, which is
Oh
cool.
yeah, I have all the tiles.
Yeah.
I have all the tiles. Some of
And
them, you know, um some are more special than others.
yes.
As far as which sets they came into, but yeah, depending on which tiles came in which sets. I You can't scan the tiles. They're not like the Mario tiles.
Hmm.
They were just kind of like, I mean, some of them went with some of the figs. So when you would buy a set, you'd get like 6 or 8 tiles. I can't remember. When you would just get the beat box itself, like if you bought the
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 llama
llama
guy one.
guy,
Yeah.
you would get specific tiles that came with his beat box, and that could be incorporated into the app and what you did. But a lot of the tiles with the sets were just like they were just like cool looking tiles. They
Yeah.
just had, and but they're all super detailed. They're all really cool. A lot of people were just like off to collect every tile, which I was one of them and I have them all. Um, but I think if they would they didn't expand a lot. There wasn't a lot of songs you could use. You
Hmm.
were very limited in that. When you went into the app, it was here's these artists, and not a lot of the artists had the most kid-friendly songs overall.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it was very specific songs you could
Hmm.
use in the app to do, and then you couldn't do the whole song, if I'm remembering correctly.
Hmm.
It
Yep.
was just like a little clip.
Hmm.
So no, they didn't think the best on that. But if there would have been a way to, again, take the app out of the equation and maybe rename it because video would have seemed a little silly, but
Yeah.
like it might have been able to do really well.
Hmm.
Okay.
I would say that's pretty much hit that right on the head. So
Yeah.
going into part two, looking at a lot of the sets. So we're going to jump right into that now. Cam's going to go into big screen mode for us,
Okay.
and we're going to look at some sets and minifigures specifically that were highlights of the theme. I think first things first, the best one to look at is definitely the llama figure,
Yep. Okay.
because he was the one that was like everyone. If you were going after figures, you went after the llama.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
and he went on tour.
Yeah, he was
Yep.
everywhere. He was like the Lego mascot. They had him at when they were doing LegoCon. They pushed Vidiyo hard and like this is a great figure.
It's a great
Like,
looking figure.
Oh yeah.
and that was one of the best parts of this was like a lot of people crap on it, but like the minifigures in this were really good. They were CMF quality.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, more better,
Mhm.
Yeah.
better,
Like they made some, like you're right, they made some CMFs look pretty bad.
better. Like you have side leg printing, side
Oh, the
arm
records he
printing,
had.
dual mo
Yep.
like you have such crazy printing
Yep.
on these figs that surpasses a lot of the CMFs even.
And the beatboxes were cool.
They were, but I
Yes.
don't think they're $20 sculpt. It's
I find it odd that
No.
they come with the, well, actually, it makes sense why they came with the brick separator. But like, I always think of brick separators coming with like, what is it, 50 or $60 plus sets?
Yeah.
Yeah, but with tiles,
Yeah, that
it
makes
was
sense why it makes sense in
probably
here.
yeah.
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 You needed one.
Hmm.
But for $20 for one fig and that, like I don't have any of the beatboxes set up. Like I did start to build them, but there's so much like if you have the sets, you can fit so many more figs in the sets. You
Yeah.
don't need those boxes. Like so
No.
it's just if you were after a certain one or that's how you wanted to display them because they did come color schemed,
Yep.
but for it was that should have been like a $10 set.
Yeah.
Even with the box and the tiles. Like 10, maybe 15 given how many tiles you would get.
Yep.
Um, but a lot of them
This
were
one.
repeats.
And like, the head molds are so freaking
Oh yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah.
That's a
That's
great
a cool
guitar.
guitar piece. Yeah, that is a cool
Yep.
one.
Yeah. There's a lot of really nice exclusive parts that came with
Oh wow,
a
it's an
lot of
ice
these
cream
figs.
cone.
Mermaid. Like, how do you come up with
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like this? Like, the level of
Creativity.
creativity within these figs was just so cool to see.
Oh yeah. I pretend that the ice cream cone mermaid dates the ice cream cone man.
See, now that makes sense because
Yeah.
he's up a little higher, Cam, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's up at the top.
Yeah, there he
There he
is.
is.
Yep, with his
Ice
saxophone.
cream cone saxophonist.
They're a snuggly duo.
Where are you gonna
Yep.
see an
Ice Cream Man playing a saxophone in
Oh,
another theme.
you're not. No,
And what a
you're
cool
not.
headpiece he's got too. Like
It's
that's
a
Yeah,
really cool headpiece.
and
the
they came out with the ice cream guys in the city sets with the like with just the put them over the put the ice
yep,
cream cone over the this I would prefer like any day. Like he's
agreed.
so like that headpiece is so cool.
Yeah, the Samu rapper is cool. The shark singer, that's a cool
Oh,
that mohawk?
headpiece.
oh yeah.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, there's two there's at least two sharks because there's a black shark that came in the
A
pirate ship
red
as
And
well.
panda.
Dancer.
these were blind boxes too.
Yes, they
Oh,
were.
the bunny.
Yes.
This was the first time Lego had ever done like a collectible minifigure series in boxes and not
Yeah,
bags,
right.
which
Yes.
a lot of people didn't like because it was kind of like, oh no, are we gonna get these in the CMF soon?
Look at us now. Oh
And then
wow,
sure
I
enough, it
Yeah.
happened.
Recolor the Jessie hairpiece from Toy Story 4.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my God, the
The
dragon in trans
dragon looks
blue.
cool. Like
Well, trans
there's
blue
a
wings.
the
Yep.
minifigures were the highlight of this easily.
Absolutely.
The trans blue dragon, the red heavy metal
Mhm.
hard rock dragon.
The
Oh,
The
slime the
piece
he's
slime
my
singer is
favorite.
the slime singer is 100% just clay facing
that
green, by the
needs
way.
to have been used
Oh
for
yeah.
Clayface.
He's yeah, for that head.
This
The
looks like Adventure
Yes.
vampire,
Time.
yeah, it does. How did they not get sued for that?
Oh, here's the
Yeah, there it
dragon.
is. There's the
There
metal
he is.
dragon
There's the other
beatbox.
dragon. Yeah,
Wow.
he's check out his pants. Like check out his jeans.
Oh my
Yeah, that's
The
god.
wild.
details on his jeans are and he's got the wings, but his entire torso, the back of his torso is so detailed as well,
Yep.
even though you can't see it.
I wonder if they'll let us see it.
Maybe not. Because they're probably gonna show the wings out the whole time. Well, there's a
Mm.
good picture of the app.
Well, I have him right here.
That's a
Oh,
cool picture
wow.
of the app right there.
Yeah.
Because you would
Yeah, he's
basically
got
just
a nice
you'd basically put your figure in the app with whoever you were
Yep.
making a thing with.
Yeah, and then they would dance.
Now these were all part of wave one.
Yep.
When we go to wave, we kind of scroll down to like the sets and whatnot. Like the hip hop car is cool. The punk pirate ship's cool.
And the big boombox itself.
Yeah, the boombox is sick. Now, $100 for that is a lot, but it's
It's
also
a lot.
substantial. It's substantial.
Yes, it is. And and it folds up and it's hefty, it's hardy. You
Yeah,
can carry it around by the handle. Nothing, it's not going to fall apart. It's not going to, and you
yep.
open it up and there's a lot of compartments. And even when you just like spin it around and look at the back, it can open up on the back and there's like a little living room with like a couch
Oh, that's
and
cool.
like a
Oh, there it
coffee
is.
and donut stand. Yeah.
The
So there's a
facts.
lot to it for the $100 that you get, and it's a good heavy set.
It speaks
That's
volumes
And
of
cool.
fact that this
and
brand
four
new is
figs.
going
For $57 now.
Yeah, and that's sad.
Like that's literally almost half
That's
of what it retailed for. That's
yeah,
insane.
look at
yeah,
these figs.
yeah.
Yeah, another good wave of
Oh
minifigures.
no.
Another really good wave of minifigures.
That's so tell me that tongue sticky outie guy doesn't remind you of Ninjago.
Oh, it's totally
See that?
Cole.
Tell me it's
It's
Cole,
it's
right?
totally Cole.
Cole, right? Yes, okay.
It's totally Cole.
It so is. It's yeah. And I could see them putting Cole in that outfit in the show at some
Oh
point
yeah.
too. Like yeah.
The
Oh,
pirate ship's cool too. I like that
The
one.
the pirate ship, okay, so besides the beatbox, the pirate ship and the car
Yeah.
are
who's that
my
black
two
shark?
favorites.
Oh, the
They're
Kraken
they're
one's
my they're
cool.
my two favorites. Um Pirate ship, it came with that other shark. There's the other
Yep.
shark right there. And he's just and that was one of the more fun ones to put together.
Hmm.
The car, what it reminded me of kind of like a Batman style car. And
Oh,
The
yeah, the hip
the
hop
Lego
car.
car.
It kind of reminded me of like a fancy car
oh, I
that
can
Yeah,
maybe,
see that.
it does
yeah,
kind of look like that.
yep.
Like
And
that looks fun.
oh yeah, and in the back there's like a pool and a TV. Like the sets were really fun to put together and see all the weird stuff they
It
put
looks
in
like Optimus
them.
Prime. The brickheads.
Yes, yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it does.
Like I'm going through
All this, and I'm trying to think, how is this tied to Universal in the slightest? Like, I feel like having the Universal tied to it, we would have had
Yeah,
some artists tied to it, at
right.
least in minifigure form, maybe. Now, that might be a whole licensing issue with the artists themselves and then the Universal itself, but like,
But you're looking at music and movies
they
you could have
didn't need to
incorporated.
do, like, they
All
didn't
of
need to
this,
market this as specific Universal. They could have just done their own kind of wave of sets of just pop stars or rap stars or something of just their own fun characters.
all of
Well,
the
yeah,
sets give me like Guitar Hero vibes, which
Yes.
I think
yeah.
is their
Oh yeah.
strong suit. They just look sweet.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
like if they should have led with this. Lead with the
Yes.
fun sets first, because
Yep.
the Bandmates caused controversy because of their
Yep.
packaging. I think that was part of the main issue with that.
Oh yeah. The bandmates
Yeah,
with the
they
blind box.
Boxes, which they didn't have the scannable ones as we do now. And
right.
then the beat boxes, what do people even do with the plastic part of like the plastic container of it outside of trying to do this?
I have them all in just a box. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's and I'm sure someone really skilled will be able to figure out something to do. Like, but that like the handle is just a big plastic, like handle. There's not really much more you can do, but I'm sure some really cool mock person out there will figure out something to do with these parts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First thing
And
that comes to mind.
it'll be awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, like to have them just in here squished with their tiles made no sense
But
for
again,
$20.
you make it like a fun little carry case, but like I'm not bringing this around with me wherever I go. That's not gonna happen.
Right. But given that it was for ages 7 to 10, if you were 7 and all your friends had Lego money and you were all like kind of like Polly Pocket, if
Yeah.
you were all
Yeah.
like, and you could go and you could trade tiles because a
Yeah.
lot of the tiles that would come in these boxes were repeats. So
Hmm.
if had friends that were doing it too, you could trade tiles, you could do this, maybe,
Yep.
and they would use the app as being little, but I think a lot of parents are like, but I want Lego to keep my kids away from
Correct.
from all that. So it's kind of a plus negative, but
Yeah.
I can see, but then you also got the older kids that are going to be like, oh, and then they're going to beat up your little kid to steal your Lego and your video tiles.
The biggest draw I see with video right now is the amazing minifigures and the
Yeah.
tiles for different reasons. Tiles I feel like are mock builder's dream because like they could
Oh
do
yeah.
a record shop and
Yeah.
just
Yep.
use all the tiles as album covers.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then the
And I've seen
minifigures
it
are
done.
so
Yeah.
versatile.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the different characters. Like they're just so fun. You can do a cool costume party, or you get some extra zombies, make
Yep.
your own rock band. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
this is probably the
It's
thing I remember most with video. This piece right here on that's Clayface.
Yeah.
It
That's
needs to be
Clayface from
Clayface. I don't
DC.
know why they haven't done it yet.
okay. The also and I might just not be remembering or as knowledge as others, but him right there. I just picked up him and the
Yeah.
blue one. So there's technically two like gummy bears is
Right.
is what I
Yep.
call them. The red one and the blue one.
Is this a trans clear piece? The head?
Yes.
And the
Really?
legs are
Yes.
trans clear too.
That I could
The
tell, but the head I
legs,
wasn't sure.
the head on the red and the blue, and they are my two favorite figs out of all of them, regardless of detail. I just love the translucent of them both.
I want to see the blue one now.
And
They're using one of the
I think
sets, Cam.
the blue one came in
I think he's one of the sets. We saw him earlier.
the cheapest set. That one.
There he
Nope.
is. Go up a little bit.
Up one.
Oh,
Up one.
okay.
That one.
Yep, the
Candy
Candy
Castle.
Castle stage.
Yep. He came in that one, and then the red one
Yeah, there
came
he
out
is.
after. But
Wow.
those are my two favorite, and I'm pretty sure the red one came out in series 2 of the Bandmates, and
Yep.
that's part of the reason why I bought them from and I can't even remember what country, but I bought them from out of the country because I wanted that fig, but I wanted the rest of them too. But I love those. Those two are my favorite. I think they're just so cool.
Yep.
And I
So
wish they
original.
would do more translucent parts like that. Like I've seen the legs, but the heads
Yeah,
Right.
the head's not
are
as
nice.
much.
Yeah.
Very rare. I think the
Yeah.
first one that comes to mind is Ultron, I think had a translucent head. But
Yeah, that
outside
was
of that,
underneath something though.
right, and then like they've done minifigure heads for like street lamps or something. Like
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
specifically for a
but not
character
printed
or a
Yeah.
specially molded head.
or molded, right?
True.
And
So,
besides for those, the dragons have got to be my other
the
favorite.
dragons
Yeah.
are sweet.
Dragons
People-
and then the sharks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talking legacy now, as we get out of big screen mode, because that's kind of where video takes an interesting turn. Video was paused as a theme in June of 2021, which is why a lot of the summer sets, the Wave 2, did not get released in the United States. They were already on shelves. And for those that aren't as well versed, when Lego does summer waves, they get released June 1st in Europe and August 1st in the United States, Canada, Mexico. They get released there. So the video sets were released June 1st overseas in Europe and the eastern side of the planet. And then, well, east of the Atlantic, sorry. And then they never got released over in the United States because they never made it to the August 1st release wave. They were paused. So all of Video Wave 1 in 2021 was retired at the end of the year.
Yep.
And later on, in January of 2022, Lego released a statement on January 31st, 2022, that officially read as such. In July 2021, we decided to pause the Lego video rollout to review performance and test new ideas. Through the extensive quantitative and qualitative research we have undertaken in the previous months, we have gained an enormous amount of learnings in terms of the music and content creation space and what it would take to succeed with the play experience. Our go-to market strategy in 2023 and not least how to build a sustainable business based in the video experience. Based on these insights, we have decided to discontinue the physical video products from January 31st, 2022 on, but we'll continue to support the app experience for another 2 years to serve those consumers who have bought the products. We still see great potential in pursuing music as a passion point, and we will take learnings from Lego Video as we continue to explore future fluid play experiences. That basically said, nobody enjoyed the app. It was buggy. It didn't work. It didn't do what we thought it was going to do. People aren't using it to what we thought they were going to use it for. So we're scrapping the whole thing. It's basically what it was. Which sucks. But as we kind of talked about a little bit before we started recording, Jeannie, you made this point of whenever Lego announces a theme with an app attached, people just have a conniption.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
There's
with-
an app, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
You know.
And unfortunately, most of the time the apps do suck because
Yeah.
the video app wasn't great. Hidden Side, which followed this, had an app that worked kind of, but the box art was ultimately failed that theme, not the app. And then Boost, the Boost app, was eventually just rebranded to Powered Up because it like you have power functions, like just get rid of the boot. There was a whole confusing thing with that. So people were just, I think some people they see Lego and app and they're just like ill gross, get away from me.
Think-
But that really was Video's downfall because
Right.
Lego launched the theme with we're gonna put like here's the bandmates, here's the beatboxes, use the app to play around and do fun stuff with them. People were like,
Yeah.
It gave
And that
you
was
No.
wave
half-
one.
It gave you
That was
half
wave
the
one.
experience.
You bought half the experience and you had to go and find the other half. And like not
Correct.
me, I feel like Lego is kind of losing touch, at least with video and like Hidden Side. People buy Lego in a sense to get away from technology, to get away from apps. They don't want to buy a Lego set to build a set and be like, what do I do with it now? To then you have to use the app to continue enjoying it.
Yep.
Everyone wants to buy a set and build a set and then just enjoy the set itself. Nobody wants to go onto the app. Nobody wants to buy a Lego set and like, where are the instructions? I have to go onto the Lego app.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
awful with Mario.
it's
That's
horrible.
awful.
Yeah, we have
That would
my
be
hatred towards Mario has been very well documented.
really.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But
A little bit.
I feel like an app is a good way to like it was a good idea theoretically, but because well, everybody has a smartphone in one shape or form in their family, more
Yeah.
likely than not.
Yeah.
But that's not what Lego is to people. Lego is an escape from technology, and I feel like they've lost sight of that.
Yeah.
I feel like after the failures of Video and Hidden Side, maybe they've caught the hint. But I also feel like Video and Universal was like a lost opportunity to try and get. They didn't have to get every single artist that's on their record label, but at least get some. Like they could have done an amazing CMF maybe with artists that they had signed.
With artists and Universal is art is music. It's also they do movies too, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
They do a
So
whole bunch of stuff.
you could have expanded so far. And what's really sad is for the 7 to 10 age group that this was intended for, you have all these sets that like if you look at just the pirate ship, okay? So here's the two figs that came with it. But
Only two
you
figs.
have, yeah, only two figs came with it, but you have a spot for a fig here, a fig here. You know, you can open up the back. So they're very play friendly. You
Yep.
like you kids wouldn't even need the app to be able to have a play experience with them minus the app.
Correct.
So they just like ran wave 2 is wave 1
Yep.
and
Launch the sets first.
Yeah.
launch the sets first instead of trying to push the app and all that first. Maybe it would have gone, a few more waves. I don't know how long it could have gone, but who knows? But every single set had at least 2 or 3 more spaces
Yep.
for extra figs.
Right.
And you got figs that came in the blind boxes and in the beat boxes that have drumsticks, microphones, guitars, all kinds of different things. You could have had 12 different bands going for all that. You
Yeah.
could have had a parade, and kids could have had so much fun with that. And even immature adults as myself
A music
as
festival.
well. Right.
Right.
Yes. It like you could have set it all up and put like some food vendors in there and just made an entire scene out of it. And the app, I think, ruins it just in the minds of some of the people that are like, nope, app done. I don't even want to see it.
I think two of the other big problems that came with this was launched in 2021.
Hmm.
At this point, the CMF lines still had the foil bags and you could
Yes.
still feel them to see what was
Yes.
in them. This
Yeah.
was the first wave of collectible style things Lego did that were in blind boxes that you could
Hmm.
not feel. And what that I think a lot of people were like, we don't want this to get into the CMF. We're just not going to buy any of this because if we show Lego, we
Sure.
refuse to put money into
Anti-support.
this format of collectible, you're not going to do it. And look how
Mhm.
that turned out. Um, but I think that was another problem was they were all in boxes. People
Mhm.
you couldn't figure out, you couldn't get the characters you wanted. So people
Right.
just turned to the aftermarket to get a couple you wanted and it'd be done.
Yeah.
One of the other big problems was this is a Universal Music Group theme. Unless you know that going in from the press release, there is nothing in this at all in the physical products that goes to make you believe this has anything to do with Universal Music Group whatsoever.
Right.
When you get into the app, like there's some songs or whatnot, there's some beats you can use that's
Yep.
different. When a lot of people were like, if this is a Universal Music Group
Why
theme,
is it?
why are the characters in this not Universal Music Group artists that we
Yeah.
can
Ooh.
collect? Now,
Right. Right.
Before Cam goes on, here is a small list of Universal Music Group artists that could have been included in this had they gone this route.
That's gonna help my point. Thank you.
Billie Eilish, Harry Styles, Ariana Grande, Post Malone, The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar, Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, Keith Urban, Shania Twain, John Legend, and the big one, Taylor Swift. You want to make a bajillion dollars, Lego? Throw a Taylor Swift minifigure out. You'll have the Swifties lining up in front of every mall in America for 700 miles trying to get the one figure. That is what will
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Now,
Like
offhand, who were the artists? Because I didn't play with the app like that much at all, but who were the artists that were actually in the songs in the app that you could use?
it was incredibly limited.
Yeah, very limited.
It was, but they didn't even come out with a fig for those artists.
See, I
Yeah.
feel like that's what they should
So,
have
Done.
right.
Either the artists themselves that are in the app, or if they couldn't get
Or
the direct license
something.
for the artist, do a mixture of what they could have done versus what they did do. Take a shark and make a shark version of Luke Bryan or a mermaid version of Carrie Underwood. Do like a,
Could have worked.
I guess,
Yeah.
knockoff of the celebrities that they had on their docket into all these different characters they had. Like they could have done gummy bear versions of Ariana Grande or something. I don't know. They
That would
could
have
have
been
done
funny.
a Taylor Swift
They
as a mermaid and that still would have sold.
Oh yeah, they could have made mermaid bottom Taylor Swift top. Yeah, that would be
And
mm-hmm.
that's the missed opportunity. I feel like that like
Yeah.
they had Universal, they market it as it's going to be Universal, but then they kind of it felt like they forgot about it. Even if they had done loosely based characters, animal characters, shark, dragon, whatever, with
Right.
some of the artists that they had a better chance to survive, honestly, because that would have drawn not only the fans of those artists, but kids would have
Yeah.
like, oh, these are cool characters.
Yeah.
And
Like with the movie they just did.
That was going to be my next point was
Yeah.
Mhm.
a lot of people thought that they Universal wasn't going to allow them to use those artists because obviously that levels a whole nother level of licensing and licensing every single one of those people. Like that
Mhm.
might get difficult. But if they're all under Universal's music group's blanket, theoretically you should be able to like sneak things out here and there and like you should be able to
Right.
have them under a nice licensing umbrella, which shouldn't be bad. But like then piece by piece comes out
Yep.
and you get the Lego version of Pharrell in a set, and
Mhm.
then in the movie there's Daft Punk and you know
Snoop
Snoop
Jay-Z,
Dogg.
Dogg, Justin
Snoop
Timberlake,
Dogg,
Gwen
Right.
Stefani.
Yeah.
Kendrick shows up
Like
in that, and I'm
so
like,
right.
obviously, if you're Lego, you're not afraid to portray those
Yeah.
artists in minifigure form because you just did it in the movie. But you didn't put them in sets. Probably that's a whole other reason because you don't want to
Yeah.
make that accessible and
Like
worry about
Disney and
Yeah.
parents
such.
getting mad.
Okay. Right.
But like again, like if this is a Universal Music Group theme that has absolutely nothing to do with Universal Music Group on the base of it. Like if you take a look at this, you have no idea this is Universal Music Group
Exactly.
whatsoever.
Oh no, I would have had no. I would have just been like, oh, But I'm one of the few like AFOLs that likes the really colorful, fun
Yeah.
sets that aren't
Yeah.
super serious. But I like if that's all I would have seen, I would have been
Mhm.
like, oh, this set looks really cool. It never would have like if it wasn't a thing. I wouldn't have assumed it was attached to anything. I would
No.
assume it was same as Ninjago or Dreams, or it was just a
Or
Lego
random
based
CMF.
theme.
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
Random
random.
CMF.
yeah, or yeah, a random CMF at first. So
I think the
it's
blind boxes is really what I think the blind boxes and the beat boxes being $20
And
are
the
what
app
just
aspect
killed
of it.
this. Because I swear to God, I go to Target or like Walmart, they were just everywhere. No
I
one was buying them. They were
No.
always on discount. They were just trying to dump them.
I will be. I look. I bought every fig. I bought every beatbox. I bought every set, and I bought them all full price. I
Can
didn't
I
wait for any
ask?
sales. I didn't. I would I change that? Is that what you want to ask?
No, I was gonna ask how
How many duplicates did you end up with because they were blind boxed and you really could not feel?
Because there was some video that came out, and if it was a full box, you knew how they were lined
Okay.
up.
They were distributed in
So
certain ways, yeah.
they were
Kind of like the
distributed.
new CMFs
Okay.
now.
Yeah. The second wave of figs that I bought from overseas. And
Oh,
so I knew I was getting the full set because I just, uh,
right.
and I'm
Yeah.
assuming they were lined up the same. So figs wise, I got no duplicates. So I
Okay.
was I was good there.
Good.
Um, and as far as paying full price for them, yeah, everybody wants things to be on sale, but at the time,
It seemed like
if
it was
it
gonna
was
be
the
huge,
same time,
honestly.
no, yeah,
And you could
I
also
wouldn't change it.
like I feel like some people you could kind of see the writing on the wall that like it almost immediately like the reception to it when it was announced was just bad.
It was
Like
bad.
people were like, and I don't think anyone ever gave this a fair shot
No.
No,
because it
I
was
agree.
like, well, why didn't you do ABC? We're not doing this. And again,
Yeah,
I think the blind boxes are really what came down to hurt this because the
Definitely.
yeah,
CMF blind bags were still out. And if you want to get a cool character, just go get the bag and you can get what you want. Like,
yes.
and I'm pretty sure that were the blind boxes for video were more expensive than the CMF ones were because there was
Uh,
more stuff in them.
Brick said they
Yeah, I
were
think.
$5 for each
Yeah, I think
box.
that's a dollar more, right? It
They
was a
were
Hmm.
a dollar
dollar at the
more.
time. Yeah, yeah.
So if you're a little kid, I'm gonna rather go feel a bag up and think I figured out what I got instead of going through and being like, I don't know what I'm getting here. I'm just picking up a random box and going with it to see what happens.
But yeah, but look at and I guess I'm playing devil's advocate, but look at the detail and the accessories that you're getting in some
True.
of these blind boxes with the new guitar molds and the new hair molds and head molds and stuff like
True.
that you're taking the chance to get, you know, as opposed to just, here's a CMF that you know what you're getting. I mean, some of the CMFs are great. They're amazing.
Yes,
But they went a step above. And
they did.
there's a lot of very unique things that you'll probably never see again.
Oh, for
Correct.
sure.
They did.
Not that
And
that's raising the price of them at all on the aftermarket, which is,
no.
sad, but you never know in 20 years.
Yeah.
One of the other things to take into account when it comes to the blind bags is the fact that there was multiple CMF waves throughout the year, obviously. We had Series 21 came out in 2021. That was a big thing. And then one of the other big ones was the first Marvel Studios wave came out in August.
Oh yeah.
And released around that same time that video was kind of going away. So it's like if you're a little kid, are you going for a random colorful character or are you going to go to try and get Captain America or
Oh
Marvel
yeah.
all day
some cool
long.
Yep.
Spider-Man? Like I'm
All day
going for
long.
that. Like that's what I'm going for. I'm going for something I can go like,
Yeah.
I know this, go for it right away.
Which is why if they would have done a Mr. Gold scenario and put in a random
Put a chase variant.
Taylor Swift, put a chase fig in there,
Oh my
you know, which
gosh.
they said they'd never do again. But here in this, you're gonna get a random Taylor Swift, maybe. You know,
Yeah,
it would have
exactly.
probably.
And you would have seen
Yeah.
them
Wow.
vanish.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
they would have sold if you would put a random artist in each
Mhm.
bandmate wave and been like, here's the chase figure, there's one in each box.
Yeah.
And just do that way, like it would have worked. Like it
It
would have
would have
worked.
worked,
Oh,
but
yeah.
For all the wrong reasons.
Correct. But it
Yes.
would have worked. You would have made money off them.
Or they
Yes.
would have gotten theft, like we did with Mr. Gold. People would open up random bags to try and find Mr. Gold.
Well, but if you do one per box and not there's
Well,
only
come on.
10,000 of them made.
Everything's locked up nowadays. How are you gonna just open
She
them
got a
up?
point there.
I'm
too.
talking back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Back
Yes,
then
They
they
would've
were
got 'em
yeah,
locked
no,
up
in
quicker.
21 they weren't. Yeah, they would have got locked up like then. Yeah.
Way
I feel
quicker.
like video
Uh,
itself had a lot of missed
opportunities,
Yep.
but there's also a lot of stuff against it to begin with.
I think a lot of people say that it's the worst theme Lego's ever created. And to that, I say Galador still says "hold my beer," so I don't think that's going to be the case ever. Because Galador was such a monumental bomb that
It
like
was.
Video would have to try so freaking
Video
hard to
at
actually
At least
work.
has amazing minifigures,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and the tiles are cool.
The
Like
tiles
and the
there's some great
sets were
designs,
cool.
right?
The
Like
But
I
sets
see
are
that, and I
the-
go,
yeah.
it's Guitar Hero stages. Like that's
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm. Yeah. The figs are great. The sets are very playable for any kid, even for, you know, some grown-ups. You
Yeah.
know, so there's a lot worse. Lego could do a lot
Oh, yeah.
worse.
They
The
could.
waves
So
weren't bad.
So it
The
can't be the
concept.
worst.
It was
No.
the concept that was bad, not the waves. I
Right.
think.
Yeah. They just needed a better PR person
Yeah.
to work this out, because
Yes.
it could have done better. They could have made some tweaks, and it could have probably done well.
It could have come back stronger. I think that's
Yeah.
a good way to put this and put a nice bow on this one. So Gina, thank you so much for coming on. It meant a lot of us to have you here, and you will definitely be back at some point.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'll keep all my stuff out so that I'm
Yes.
ready if you need me. But yes, thank you for having me. It was super fun.
And we will link your channel and Instagram in the description so people can find you when you do eventually return, because we know that you will.
Yes, I
Um,
will. I will.
Gotta see
Thank
that
you.
city.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
This episode.
so you could do a music festival within your city with all the video characters.
There was a point where I wanted to actually create a I don't know if either of you have been to Vegas, but I wanted to do Fremont Street with the video
Oh,
sets.
that'd be cool.
And yeah, and that was like, I was like, I'm gonna line up these sets. I'm gonna put some food vendors in. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have
Awesome.
some crazy people, and I wanted to do like a Fremont Street kind of strip with
That'd
the
be
video
fun.
sets. So that's not out of the question, because it does sound like super fun, and I have the room now, so
That'd be really
it
cool.
could be coming soon to a city near you.
It could be coming soon.
Your city.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Yes.
For those who are finding this first time, thank you for watching. If you've not seen Time Capsule episode 1, go back to that first episode on Galaxy Squad with our friend Scott. That was a really fun one. When it also comes around to other things you can find with us, the flagship show, the Brick Hour podcast, is also out every Friday at 2:00. You can find that there. It is great. If you have also looking for other spots to find us, you can find us on Instagram at the Brick Hour Pod. You can find me on Instagram at Langster Builds. And as a quick teaser for next episode, I will just do this and I will point at that. And that is pretty much all you need to know in terms of what next
Could
next
you be more
month is
obvious?
going to be. We're doing Lego Batman. I'm really excited. We're so hyped.
Be more specific. We're doing the original.
Yes,
Batman
the original
wave.
2006 Lego Batman. So we are really excited for
Before
that.
it became DC superheroes.
Yes, pre-2012. So that's what we're doing.
Oh,
So
I'm
we will-
excited for that one.
Oh,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm excited for that one. That would be good.
We will see everybody on the flagship show and in the next episode of Time Capsule. Have a great night. Happy building.